Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Almasri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We're back again with my friend Talyn. Talyn, welcome back to Echoes of Impact. So, talking about personal brand, like we spoke about diplomats and how they use their personal brands to really be the president of the US, right? And more, and to be in other position that they want to be at. Now, a lot of entrepreneur, they want to grow and they want to have a lot of money. But when you tell them about being themselves, building their personal brand, they resist. They don't want to do that. So talk to me about this.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people are always looking for shortcuts, right? How do I make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time? And one of the repeated things that I've seen small entrepreneurs, small business owners do and entrepreneurs do is not investing enough in themselves. So their personal growth is the last thing that they focus on. They don't take on mentors, they don't take on coaches, they don't work with experts. They're looking for shortcuts. Ads, they put a lot of money into their ads. They think very carefully about the next car they're going to buy, the next house they're going to buy. But then the majority of these business owners do not have a personal brand. And your personal brand is going to be the one thing that stays with you for the rest of your life. And there's no investment in there. So it's really baffling when I see these entrepreneurs who are very hungry to be successful, who want the spotlight on them. They want to be seen as the best. They want to charge more. But then there's a lack of evidence to show that they are willing to bet on themselves. And that's a major societal failure, that we're not investing enough in our own self-development as business owners.
Yeah, like I feel a lot of entrepreneurs, they think, okay, this is not a priority. I know how to do this. It's not the time. I don't have money yet. And they never have money and they don't build the machine that makes money, which is themselves. So they don't use themselves. So why do you think they don't do that? Like, do you think it's out of fear? Do you think it's just they just don't see the value of that, or maybe they undermine themselves? They don't think they are good enough to be the face of their brand. So what do you think from your experience?
There's multiple answers to that. The first thing is, back when I started my first business, Noura, I spent zero time on personal development, zero, because I thought back then, I know what I'm doing. I'm surrounding myself with all of the right people. I have ambassadors from abroad. When they come to London, I'm one of those people that they have to meet. So it's like, sometimes the ego gets in the way. You think you're just the best, and then you decide this is not important. So the priority is quite low. And then when you're making money in your business, you instantly think, well, if I'm making money in my business and it's growing, that's enough. So I don't need to change anything else in my business to get more clients. But then if you do that, you're not able to raise your prices, or you're going to be stuck with a certain caliber of clients. You can always go for bigger, better clients who have a bigger wallet that can pay you. And guess what? Nothing you're doing has changed other than the way you show up in your business, the process in your business. You're simplifying your messages, you're repeating your messaging. That's what's going to get you bigger, better clients. There's a system and a process, and it's all based on you 100%. So it could be that there's a fear of trying, a fear of maybe this is not going to work for me, and a fear of failing as well.
Yeah, like this is really interesting because we always say we are we are afraid of failure. I was in a conference the other day and they said, no, you're not afraid to fail. You're afraid to win. And for myself, this is just really, really new recognition for me. Just like maybe a couple of months back, I thought, okay, I think I'm afraid to win. So do self-sabotage and stuff. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I love that quote. It's so true. And I'll give you an example, Noura. I spent most of 2024 on self-development. My process has changed so much. The way I work with clients have like this tightened up so much, and the value is like that much more though because of everything that I'm putting into it. And I decided, right, I'm going to hire the best people to train me up so that I can give even bigger value and charge what I need to charge for my clients. Now, this was based on earning disclaimers. So when people say I make $2 million in my business, I went for those numbers. What didn't work for me was the strategy did not work for my business because they were ignoring my personal brand, they were ignoring my personality, they were ignoring all of the extra like experiences I have as a diplomat into my messaging, and as a result those strategies did not work. And Noura, I spent $13,000 on that investment.
Oh.
But even though I see that as a failure, I learned so much along the process. Now I know how to hire coaches that align with my values and not just be blinded by how much money that they're making. I'm also learning how to write better content and use better content strategies for my own business. No one else can do that for me. I have to learn to do that myself. And I've also learned, you know what, it's okay to spend money and lose it because that's going to come back to you later. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Even if it's a success or even if it's a failure, you're always going to move forward with that.
Absolutely. I feel like you learn from a failure more than you learn from something that you invested in and you won, because you learn so much and you grow
Yeah.
so much and you grow stronger. And like you said, you know who to hire next. And you know what's gonna require you and what's thing that you can delegate for other people. But yeah, this is amazing. Like I always tell the story of like when I started my business, I did not start on my own. I started various, several businesses before, like with other people, but none of them was successful like this one. This one, like I hired the coach right away from the same industry that I am in, and she helped me get the first clients, actually monthly clients, two of them in the next month. So the second month that I was in the coaching program, I was able to get those clients. If it was only me, I probably struggle like for a few months, like maybe a year before I figure it out. So it's always like great to learn from other people. And that's why actually we're also talking to the audience here so they can learn from our stories, so they can get your expertise, like, and so they don't have to try on their own, and they can go seek help with people who actually align with their value, as you said, because you don't want your personal brand to voice someone else, not yourself.
Yeah, and also your personal brand is something that no one else can replicate. So imagine how much power you have when you completely own your story. You bring your experience and your history with you and put it into your business. You become so remarkable compared to your competitors that it is an easy choice to pay you over somebody else. You become an easier choice, and you're only going to attract clients who are actually like you and they think like you. Instead of going after clients just because they have the money to pay, you're only going to be attracting people that you actually want to work with. And if this is going to be your livelihood, why not work with people who actually value you versus people who are going to undervalue you and kind of like stamp all over your own values and the way you think. So you're protecting yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot agree more. I cannot agree more. And what's one thing that you want to accomplish in your business before year end, since we're almost there?
Yeah, there's a lot. I've been working so hard on myself and my business. I recently just launched a personal brand master course, and this has got like 50 plus video tutorials that I recorded from scratch, where I'm actually training people how to build a powerful personal brand by themselves. So instead of me doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself with guidance. So this is a really huge project that it's done. It's off my list now. It's live. It's ready to go. So that's something that I've created. And one of the reasons why I really wanted to do that, Noura, is because not everyone can afford this kind of work. So I wanted to make my knowledge as accessible as possible so that even if you are starting out and you have a low budget, this is still available to you. Because again, once you tap into your own store and you know what you're doing, you can 10x the growth of your business. So let's make 2025 a really big year.
Oh, that's awesome. How can people register for that masterclass?
Yeah, just look for bossdiplomat.com and it's first thing on your on the website. You'll see a done with you master course. That's exactly where you'll find it.
That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. And guys, go check the masterclass out. This is your host, Noura Almasri. We'll be right back.